How to pass the SC-200 test? Question for Cybershortieee.
Oh no, that's not what he said.
He said Cybershortieee.
There we go. What is the secret?
The secret is you have to know your tools. That is the honest truth. The SC-900 is very fundamental. The SC-200 is absolutely not fundamental at all. So you need to understand the different technologies. You need to understand the different blades, the different limitations and capabilities of the tools. Because I believe the 200 covers Sentinel, Defender for Cloud, and Purview, if I'm not mistaken. Please fact check me in the comments if I'm wrong there. But you need to get in and start poking around and playing around with these tools and seeing what the limitations are. If it asks you a question, if you're a user and you're trying to do ABCD, can you do it? Those are the type of questions you're going to get. But believe it or not, the 200 is hard. The 100 is even harder than the 200. So I commend you for, wanting to embark. Do you already have the 900?
I got the breakdown right here if you want me to read it.
Yeah, go ahead.
So the Microsoft SC-200 exam, security operations analyst, focus on detecting, investigating, and remediating threats using Microsoft technologies with an emphasis on Microsoft Sentinel, Microsoft Defender for Cloud, and Microsoft Defender XDR.
Oh, XDR, not Purview. My bad, y'all.
It tests practical skills in KQL, automated response, and threat hunting.
And they do mean that when they will ask you questions about KQL queries on the actual exam itself, like literally. So you have to get in and play around with different things. Mm-hmm. If you are there's a Microsoft, you can find a Microsoft Ninja training for every tool they have. So XDR, there should be a Ninja training, Sentinel and Defender for Cloud. There are Ninja trainings for those. Do those, and I promise you'll be in great shape for the exam. But that is my advice, is to actually get in those tools and start clicking around and messing around with things instead of kind of trying to base it off of theory or like the top of your head. You need to know where to go and if the thing is actually possible that the user wants to do.
Yeah, and I'm just going to break it down since this whole AI breakdown gives a good breakdown. Core topics covered in SC-200. Mitigate threats using Defender for Cloud. That's going to be 25 to 30% of the exam. So configuring security policies, enable workload protection, server databases, containers, and managing regulatory compliance. The next one will be mitigate threats using Microsoft Defender XDR. That's going to be 25 to 30% of the exam. Managing incidents and alerts across Defender for endpoint, Office 365, identity, and cloud apps. This includes creating and managing automation rules. Mitigate threats using Microsoft Sentinel, that'll be 40 to 45%. Creating workspace analytics, connecting data sources, syslog, CEF APIs, creating custom query languages, queries for detection, and building hunting queries. And then last will be security operations tasks, using advanced hunting, analyzing threat intel, and managing automated investigation and response capabilities. So to me,
I would make a lab out of it.
Yeah, to 1, me, as a
1,000%.
person who is, even though I have the tools I'm biased on, I've worked in many different environments where I haven't always had the same tool. I had the foundation of knowing what I'm using what for. In this scenario, though, you definitely would want to make sure you play around with all these different Microsoft tools.
You have to. You can't focus on one.
It's
going to ask you about it's going to ask you about those 3 tools. It's not going to lean to the left for one. It's going to ask you about all 3. So you have to know them comfortably enough.
Yeah. So a good way you can start off doing this is Josh Madakor has a lab he put out about 3-4 years ago where you're using Microsoft Sentinel and you are creating a VM instance and you're going to take the firewall off and you're going to log everything into your Sentinel instance. Like start off there so you can kind of get familiar with using Sentinel and using KQL, and then that'll just give you something to build off of all the while doing the exam, and that'll help you out. And let's answer a question from Jacqueline real quick. Jacqueline said, 34 years old, trying to level up my income.
I think we're frozen, HD. I see us back moving, but somebody did just say we're frozen.
I mean, that's probably be expected. Okay. I mean, we're streaming, so it'll freeze from time to time, probably. Global management degree, heavy technical sales support background. Should I get Network Plus or CCNA for my first cert? I think you're asking yourself the wrong question. You need to figure out what do you want to do.
I was going to say the same
which thing. Is hard to figure out when you don't know what's out there. So I would try to do my research, get your calls in with certain professionals that could direct you somewhere. If you have sales support background, there are different roles that could be a little bit more technical in sales. Like, have you thought about doing like sales engineering or you can be like a security advisor, et cetera, et cetera. There are other stuff, but I wouldn't focus so much, at least not even like on those 2 certifications, right? Because just getting them ain't gonna mean nothing when everybody is pretty much studying for like 2-3 weeks. Network Plus to me actually is harder than Tech Plus, and you're sure not going to get
harder.
CCNA super fast, but just studying for them, it'll help you get a concept of just knowing some networking, but it's not going to probably be the thing that gets you a job maybe that you want to do, especially from having a sales background. I know you definitely don't want to start from zero. You're a person that does have some high income transferable skills, and now you need to figure out how to link them to a role that lines up with that versus me just telling you a generic, oh, start a help desk. I only tell people that you know, you may become from retail or you don't have any high income skills, like just start at zero. You don't have to start at zero. Okay, so yeah, they already gave us some good feedback in the chat. So thank you for that.